You are tuned into the Literacy Hour with Test Taking Solution and your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. The purpose of this show is to help mitigate health disparities, improving literacy related to health, economics, and education. For all your professional development, professional management, and educational support services needs, contact Test Taking Solution, where we're igniting success. Located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Literacy is knowledge and knowledge is power. Thank you for joining the Literacy Hour.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning into the Literacy Hour, where you receive relevant, up-to-date, accurate information to enhance literacy. I just believe that when we learn better, we do better. And I have a lot to share this morning that I hope will make at least some part of our lives better. Today is education literacy. The call-in number is 601 714 TEST. That's 8378. Well, today is the day of the City of Jackson's mayoral Democratic primary election. We should know later this evening if there will need to be a runoff. The different platforms have been shared by the candidates themselves. Opinions have been shared by many who either know the candidates, have worked with the candidates, or by the candidates themselves, right? So the Clarion Ledger reported yesterday that 11 candidates failed to file a campaign finance report. The deadline to file the latest campaign finance reports was 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 25th. And only 5 Jackson mayoral candidates met that deadline. Nope, I'm not going to tell you which of the 5 met the deadline. You have to go search that out. But it's important to note, and I think that knowing this piece of information might just very well help to solidify who you decide to vote for. As a reminder, the polls will open. As a matter of fact, they are open now. They opened at 7 a.m. and will close at 7 p.m. Any voter in line at 7 o'clock this evening is legally entitled to cast a ballot. A local nonprofit organization, Mississippi Move, is giving rides to voters with their Road to the Polls service. Local military veteran, Mr. Michael Jordan, has volunteered his transportation company to transport people to the polls for the past 6 years. Thank you so much, Mr. Jordan, for the work that you do. Mr. Jordan has been operating his transportation company for 11 years, and I love the way he got involved in transportation. I think the way his story goes is that he, when he got out of the military, he himself was transporting his father back and forth to the VA, and he saw that there was a need. And well, he just decided to be the change that he wanted to see. So again, we just really want to thank Mr. Jordan and Mississippi Move for their Road to the Polls service. Thank Mr. Jordan also for his transportation company and for transporting seniors and disabled for the past 11 years wherever they need to go. So to schedule a ride, go ahead and visit Mississippi Move's website. It's a very easy website to remember, msmove.org. And we know how to spell move, M-O-V-E. That's V as in volleyball. So msmove.org. Or you can also call 662 205 6683. All right. Let's define a word. Ultimatum. 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 Go ahead and think for a moment what you believe the definition is. Well, here's the answer. An ultimatum is a final demand. It's it. It's the last straw. This is your ultimatum. It's a statement of terms, the rejection of which will result in retaliation or a breakdown in relations. It's an ultimatum. I'm not playing with you. I mean what I'm saying. I'm going to use it in a sentence. The employers issued an ultimatum demanding that their staff return to the office to work immediately. It's an ultimatum. It means that if they don't return to work, there's going to be some sort of retaliation or breakdown in relations. Okay? Ultimatum. Try using that word in a sentence today. Try using it as part of your vocabulary. Let's continue to build our vocabulary on First Tuesdays here on the Literacy Hour. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Literacy Hour. I want to do a quick sweep of education in the news. Let's see. Many people believe that there are three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. And some would argue that there are even more states than the ones I named, to include plasma. Yeah, it's a gas that's been ionized. I learned that at Tougaloo College, where I majored in chemistry. There's the Bose-Einstein condensate as well. And we call it BEC for short. And that's when a gas is cooled to a temperature near absolute zero. Just something good to know. Why? Because scientists at Microsoft say they have developed a new state of matter that has the potential to power the next generation of computers. Hear me well. These computers are known as quantum computers. I want you to stay tuned to the Literacy Hour, because later on in the show, I'm going to take a deeper dive and tell you exactly what Microsoft is calling this new state of matter. First, I want to talk about a story that was published in a recent edition of the Wall Street Journal, and I just believe we need to explore it a little deeper. Screens have taken over classrooms. Even students have had enough. Educators question whether the rapid shift toward more technology has benefited learning. Some students say, I really lose my focus. I just can't seem to stay tuned into these screens. So educators are now questioning, is this really benefiting learning? Class time has become screen time in many parts of our country. Kindergartners now watch math lessons on YouTube. They count aloud with the videos. Middle schoolers complete writing drills on their Chromebooks while sneaking in play of an online game, if their school even allows them to get to those. But some students take their Chromebooks home, and I'm just not quite sure if all of the various school districts have the same sort of security features on the Chromebooks. High schoolers mark up Google Docs to finish group projects. The rapid tech transformation amounts to a grand experiment playing out in American schools. And all this was accelerated by pandemic-era online learning. The move has now been causing some conflict, if you will. Okay, because we were forced to do it, right? And there was little debate when the switch took place. But now the research is sort of conflicting. We're finding that maybe, just maybe, all this screen time is not healthy. There are high stakes for the nation's children. Educators are wondering whether the digitization of the classroom has really benefited learning, or if it's done kids a disservice. And some teachers say Online tools help to create more engaging lessons and can provide personalized instruction. But others say the screen heavy approach has distracted students and burned out the teachers. I mean, it is what it is. And people are having varied experiences with the screens. Not all children learn well from a computer screen. Some children are tactile learners. They learn well by touching, feeling, doing, right? And yeah, you kind of touch, feel, and do with the computer, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So we believe at Test Taking Solution that there should be a hybrid approach. And while we subscribe to some very powerful educational software tools to help our students, we have not experienced or haven't met one child that can sit at a computer and be taught by that instructional software. That it still requires a teacher, a guide, a tutor, somebody experienced with childhood development and helping to train that child on whatever concept it is that he or she might be trying to learn. COVID just shifted things toward, oh, we can do this and we can do that. But we didn't ask, should we do this or should we do that? And so now in some ways we're grappling with some things. I'm going to go ahead and throw one of them out there. Our students are not as socially adept as many of us who grew up without mobile devices, computers, etc. We were forced to, and not really forced, we enjoyed having recess, playing outside, getting on the merry-go-round, the monkey bars, running up and down a little hill, rolling even. We enjoyed playing double dutch and regular jump rope. We enjoyed racing one another. And children still enjoy those today because, they're children. But the question is, do they even get a lot of opportunities to do activities like that? Do they? Have the screens taken over? I love to know what you think. 601-714-8378. You're listening to the Literacy Hour, and today is Education Literacy. Another story that I want to mention is about equitable services for private schools. Yeah, you heard me right. JPS had outreach, and for those of you not familiar with JPS, it's our stellar Jackson Public Schools. And this past January, so this year, 2025, Jackson Public Schools released an announcement saying that they were embarking on a new year, excited to provide opportunities for all students and educators to shine this year. And they basically were informing all private schools in our area about the available equitable service opportunities. So this was quite intriguing to me. I delved deeper. School districts are required to notify private schools about federally funded grant programs for the upcoming 2025-2026 school year. And I didn't know that. Did you? These programs are designed to enhance and support educational services. So JPS sent out a contact letter. And I love JPS. They're quite transparent. They even have a copy of the letter that they sent out on their website. Again, that letter is dated January 9th of this year, where they directly address the private school administrator, telling them about the funding that's available, including Title I, Part A, Title II, Part A, Title IV, and the names of the funding, And they tell them that if they want to indicate a desire to participate in one or more of the above listed programs, to the extent that their school is subsequently determined to be eligible, they need to complete the intent to participate form. So, wouldn't you be interested? I know I am, in how many private schools completed that intent to participate form. Miss Ebony Nichols is the Equitable Services Coordinator for private schools, and she works at JPS. She's a Jackson Public School District employee who's in place as the Equitable Services Coordinator for private schools. Again, I didn't even know that such a position existed. I didn't know that there was even a thing called making sure that services are equitable for private schools. And in this day and time when folks are getting rid of DEI, I wonder, I wonder, was this access by private schools hampered at all? I wonder if it was touched. And DEI, for those unfamiliar, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Black and Hispanic enrollment declined on average at many colleges after affirmative action ended. Yeah, that was back some time ago. We talked about it when it happened, but affirmative action is gone. And what we've learned is that, Black student enrollment, Hispanic student enrollment dropped after schools didn't necessarily have to enroll those students. I didn't say it. Go look it up. I mean, the research is there. The evidence is right there. The numbers have dropped. And now many more students have stopped disclosing their race. They don't have to. So they've stopped disclosing their race. This becomes quite important, as you can imagine, regarding funding. So why don't we go ahead and talk about some grants, some scholarships, and other funding opportunities? It's so important to get a good education, and college is not for everyone. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll continue to say it. We have so many bona fide examples in our country right now of folks who didn't go to college, or maybe they went to college and they discovered something while there for a very short time and they dropped out. And they're doing very, very, very well. And there are some people who take alternative routes. Technical skills are some that some people might acquire and be trained in. They do very, very well, right? So college, 4-year colleges, as we know them, and universities are not necessarily for everyone. There are apprenticeships. Yeah. But for those who want to attend college and find that tuition is a problem, they seek out funding sources. I had a senior not long ago, last week actually, to send me a note, one of our scholars, been with us since she was 9th grade, doing very well. So proud of her. She's grown and blossomed into a beautiful young lady, inside and out. Anyway, she said, Dr. Liddell, I'm interested in finding some scholarships for college. Oh, I was so excited to hear from her. And I, of course, critiqued her note to me, and it was stellar. Okay. I'm so very proud of her. And I shared with her several scholarship opportunities. And I want to share some of that with you today in the time that we are allowed. That, tuition can be a problem for some students. I want you to visit modernstates.org. Modern, MODERN, states, STATES.org. Modernstates.org. Because I want you to know that it is possible to take your entire freshman year of coursework free of charge. Yes, I know people who've done it, and they did it with modernstates.org. Take tuition free, high quality courses online from top institutions for college credit. Now, you want to go over to Martin States to see how it all works. Find out whether your school of choice, because this is the most important part, you got to know whether your school of choice will accept a CLEP exam. Because after you take the course, then you have to go to a place like Mississippi State University, Hill State, or maybe even the Sylvan Learning Center to take a CLEP exam. And we say you CLEP out of the course, right? Because you get credit for having taken the course. And you didn't sit up in it all semester long. You took a high quality course on your time at your own pace, and you passed the course. So I know for a fact that Mississippi State University accepts CLEP exams. I CLEPed out of some courses when I was preparing for my MBA. And I really appreciate Mississippi State for making this particular aspect of one's education possible. Again, the forward thinking Mississippi State University. Way to go. There's still time to apply for the NAACP Inspire Initiative scholarships, but the application period is closing on April 11th, and it's coming quickly. Okay, we will need want to make sure that we have every eligible student who can take advantage of this opportunity to do so. Again, that's the Inspire Initiatives scholarship opportunities. Funding is available for exceptional students interested in STEM, marketing, communications, art, and more. Doesn't that sound like fun? I mean, it is. And I really hope that some students will apply for the Inspire Initiative Scholarship. It was published March 3rd. Again, the deadline for the application to be submitted is April 11th. How can you get access to the application? Well, I'm going to tell you. Thank you for tuning into the Literacy Hour. You get to find this information out. You also get to share it with someone whom you love, all right, who you think might be eligible for funding from the NAACP. So I want you to visit NAACP.org. That's NAAC as in Charlie, P as in Paul.org/scholarships. Okay. And you will gain access to all of these various scholarship opportunities. And the recipients are going to be announced this upcoming summer. So I can't wait to see if some of our Mississippi students will get some of these scholarships. If you know a Black student or a student of color in need of financial assistance for college, you want to encourage them to apply. Whether they're a high school senior preparing for their next step or a current student furthering their education. The scholarships can help lighten that financial burden. They have various scholarships available over there, something known as the Building Beautiful Futures Scholarship, and that's powered by Dark and Lovely. They have an Empowering a Better Tomorrow Scholarship powered by Walmart. So those are just two of the scholarships you will find if you visit NAACP.org/scholarship. So again, I'm very thrilled to share this information with you today on the Literacy Hour. If you've already applied, we encourage you to share the opportunity with your friends, your classmates, and others in the community whom you think might be eligible. Let's work together, everyone. Okay. I think long gone are the days where you kind of hide information and keep it to yourself. Let's share. And by sharing, I believe that we can make our community even stronger. There's a deserving student whom you know. Share this information. Give that child a chance to succeed. You might recall that 3 of our state's colleges and universities submitted a brief proposal in the form of a letter of intent in response to the National Science Foundation, that's NSF, second round of its Regional Innovation Engines grant funding opportunity. The program was hosted by NSF, Technology, Innovation, and Partnership Division. So for short, we refer to it as NSF TIP. Neither of our states, three institutions that applied, received an invitation to submit a full proposal. Of course, we were sad. In response to the funding opportunity, TIP received and published nearly 300 letters of intent spanning our country, every U.S. state and territory. And of those, 71 teams were invited to submit full proposals. Their deadline to submit that proposal is April 15th. So I am again excited to see just what sort of ideas are going to come from these 71 teams. Meanwhile, NSF recently reported that the inaugural cohort, because again, now this round that I just mentioned was the second round. There's an inaugural cohort of NSF engines. And NSF says they've been demonstrating the potential of place-based research and development as a driver of economic development and job creation. NSF engines all across the country are seeing companies establish new sites, including relocating their headquarters right into some of our backyards, cultivating new instructional material for high schools and community and technical colleges to train talent with the technical skills necessary for a myriad of jobs in technology-rich sectors. I love it. And some of these companies have gone on to become new deep tech ventures. To get a sense of what each NSF engine has accomplished in the last year, all you have to do is check their individual page on the NSF website. Yes, each of these engines in the inaugural cohort have their individual page on the National Science Foundation's website. I've already reviewed it. I have enjoyed reading and learning about all the various innovative ideas that this inaugural cohort of NSF engines have put forth. Can't wait to see what this second round of 71 teams will produce. Can't wait. So when you get to the NSF website, you'll see several of the individual pages. I want you to scroll down and find the Central Florida Semiconductor Innovation Engine. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Join me here on First Tuesdays when we discuss topics related to education, aiming to enhance our education literacy. Second Tuesdays when we turn our focus to health literacy and see what's going on in the healthcare arena. Third Tuesdays when we take a look at financial literacy terms, phrases, and impacts and see what's going on in the markets. On Fourth Tuesdays when we focus on mental health and wellness. And on Fifth Tuesdays, when we focus on technology literacy and discuss all things tech in an effort to not be left behind. We will not be left behind during this artificial intelligence, electric vehicle, commercial flights to space era. And I am so excited that there is a Fifth Tuesday in April. If you'd like to become an underwriter or to be a guest on our show, just give us a call. 601-714-8378. Testing season is upon us, and I can't wait to see how the third graders fared during the initial administration of the third grade reading gate test. If they did not pass it, they'll have another chance in May and a final chance in June. If you visit the event calendar of our website, ttsfoundation.org, you'll see a survey that we've recently released. We also shared a link to the survey on our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. We need your help. If you are a parent, grandparent, guardian, teacher, or administrator of a first through fifth grader, we need your help. We want to adequately and appropriately expand our after-school program to our additional location at 523 West Main Street right here in Jackson. Yes, We are so excited about this strategic planning that's been going on. We're working with a fine group of MSU MBA students on our strategic plan. And just like I did last week, I want to publicly acknowledge my alma mater, MSU's College of Business, Hale State, and the Master Level Business Administration students who are working on the strategic plan with us. That team includes Miss Chelsea Francoeur, who grew up in the Verdon Addition, the Georgetown neighborhood, and whose family still resides there. Mr. Corey Petro, Mr. Kyle Leonard, Miss Rebecca Mataya, Mr. Matthew Rowell, and their faculty, Dr. Robert Otundo II. I'm so blessed and grateful to have such an amazing team working on the plan. They're helping our stellar group of professionals to get it done. But listen, Jackson, we need your input, especially if you live in the 39213 zip code area. Too many times people make plans and they build things for us without us, right? I want those who live in the area where we intend to scale the program to have some input. Effective community based after school programs are proven, right? There are some after school programs that happen in the schools and they are good. And there are programs that are community based and they're great. Okay. I know because we've been able to compare some things, and I'm sure other people have been able to compare students' academic performance based on the type of after school program they attend. It just is what it is. I'm thinking about doing a white paper on it. Yeah, I think it's time for some after school programs here in our own state to talk about the great successes of the programs. We're working really diligently on our next annual report, and we've just been amazed at the growth and the boost in students' academic performance that we've realized. Community-based after-school programs help to keep children busy with productive activities and helps to keep them off the streets, right? So here's how you can help. The Test Taking Solution Foundation is expanding its after-school program. We're calling it an accelerated community-based after-school program, ACAP. We're trying to make it a reality. So respond to the short survey by Friday, April the 4th. It contains 5 questions. 1, are you the parent, grandparent, guardian of a 1st through 5th grader? Okay. Number 2, are you the teacher or administrator of a 1st through 5th grader? Number 3, how likely are you to enroll your child or children in an after school program that has the following features or capabilities? One-on-one tutoring, homework assistance, test prep, especially for the 3rd grade reading gate test and ACT, right? SAT as well. Food snack options, transportation provided from the school, outdoor activities like basketball, square, pickleball, volleyball, soccer, gardening, miniature golf, and tennis. What about this feature? Low tutor to student ratio, like 1 to 3, 1 to 5. It means that there's 1 tutor to every 3 students. That's what 1 to 3 means. And then 1 to 5 is 1 tutor to every 5 students. We like those features. And we ask you, how do you feel about another feature? A safe room, a place where students and staff can go in case of inclement weather or other threats. Question number 4, how likely are you to enroll your child or children in an after school program that uses virtual reality, augmented reality to help him or her or them to learn their school subject material? And the last and final question on the survey, ask how likely are you to support and or volunteer with the after school program in the following areas? Tutoring. That's tutoring English, language arts, or maybe You could be a good reading tutor, manuscript handwriting tutor, cursive handwriting tutor. These are things that we do in our after school program. And we find ourselves, teaching children how to write because some of them still don't know how to form some of their numbers, some of their letters, even by fourth grade. They're still having trouble writing legibly. So we tutor in those areas. What about science? Maybe you would like to tutor in technology and engineering. Um, what about the arts? Yeah, it includes how to tie a knot, how to tie shoestrings. We find ourselves during the after school program helping students to learn how to tie their shoes. And it's okay. You know, I just believe that there is a strong place, an important place for effective after school programs. Maybe you can support and or volunteer as a mathematics tutor. How likely are you to support and or volunteer to monitor outdoor activities? Yes, effective after school programs allow the children an opportunity for physical activity. And we can't just send the children outside by themselves. Someone has to monitor, or someone's. Yeah. And so, yeah, a great after school program is a big staffing issue. It could be if you're just not able to staff it. Um, it's just as staff intensive as a regular school. We have to closely monitor the students. And you might want to support and or volunteer with preparing meals. So you get to tell us that on the survey. You get to tell us whether you want to help with transportation. Again, that's just picking up from the schools. And maybe you can support and or volunteer mm, in a monetary way, right? Sometimes, even now, people will drop off a gift card. They certainly get a gift receipt for that, as well as money, um, or in kind donations, food and beverage items. We just want to thank you in advance for your input. And if you do not have access to a mobile device or a computer, don't worry. You can call our center or stop by and say, I want to complete that survey that I heard Dr. Liddell talking about on the Literacy Hour. And I promise you, one of our team members will be happy to complete the survey on your behalf, entering only what you tell them to enter. Our center is located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive, Jackson, Mississippi, 39212. Speaking of after school programs, we will have some of the educational support resources that we use to train our scholars available on our table at the upcoming ASGN, that's Association of South Jackson Neighborhoods. Yes, they're having their sixth annual South Jackson Parade, and we're going to have some educational resources there, including our sight words. We use the trusted TTS sight words flashcards to train the campers during the third grade reading gate test prep boot camp that we held in March, among other resources that we employed during the boot camp. These cards now, they're larger than your average flashcards. You can see the words on the cards from about 5 feet away. That feature comes in really handy when you're standing in front of a class and you want to make sure that everyone sees the words. The cards are durable, not easy to tear or wrinkle. All 232 of the sight words flashcards could be yours for $100. And we just believe it's a great investment. These cards last. And you want to gift your little ones something to help them enhance their vocabulary? Get them these flashcards. That's less than 43 cents a card. And you'll have them for years. So that's why we say it's a great investment. They're great for children in grades K through 5th and also make great gifts for educators, a great gift for a classroom. So I strongly recommend these flashcards because families can easily flash them any time of the day or night and ask their children to first pronounce the word, then use the word in a sentence. And it's a great way to build vocabulary, as I said, and to teach the fundamentals of reading and reading comprehension. So reserve your stack by calling TTS anytime from 9 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, or you can show up at the upcoming Association of South Jackson Neighborhood's 6th annual parade. We'll have other resources available at our table too, like the hot selling book, Learning to Trust, the Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. The author's name is Dr. Sabrina Williams, and you all hear her, or you're able to at least. If you don't, I certainly encourage you to do so. You can hear her by tuning into WMPR 90.1 FM on Monday mornings at 7. People have visited our center over on Thousand Oaks Drive to pick up copies of her book. Why? Well, our copies are autographed by the author, and she includes goodies like bookmarks inside. So, again, you can pick up a copy of Learning to Trust, amongst other educational support resources, at the Association of South Jackson Neighborhood's 6th annual parade. The parade is scheduled to take place Saturday, April 12th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. You can visit the ASGN website for more details. Easy website to remember, ASJ as in juggle, N as in nickel, asgen.org. And when you get there, you'll see the link for the parade 2025. Otherwise, if you'd like to participate in the parade, set up a booth, or be a food vendor, you can also call Mr. Ernest Ward. His number is 601 201 3020. Test Taking Solution plans to be there. And we'll have the sight words flashcards along with our handwriting workbook available at our community outreach table, as well as information about cancer screenings, breast cancer, cervical cancer, colorectal cancer, prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. Learn more about that if you tune in next Tuesday to the Literacy Hour, when we'll be exploring health literacy. By the way, speaking of that handwriting workbook, it's been proven to help kindergartners and first graders learn how to correctly write their alphabets from A to Z. We like to believe that our test taking solution scholars have great penmanship, and it's because we are sticklers for how they actually write their alphabets, uppercase and lowercase, their numbers, and that workbook retails for $20. So we'll have that workbook available for you as well. Again, you can stop by Test Taking Solution at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson to pick up that workbook and check out our selection of other educational support resources. Or you can stop by our community outreach table, which will be set up at the ASGN 6th annual parade. We appreciate your support more than you know. You're listening to the Literacy Hour, and I'm your host, Kentrell Liddell. If you have comments or questions, you can call 601-714-8378. Visit our website, ttsfoundation.org, and leave a message there if you're too bashful to get on air. Let's talk about and become better informed about some legislation. You know, since the start of the 2025 legislative session, we have been bill watching right here on the Literacy Hour. What does bill watching mean? Well, it means watching bills, which are the initial language crafted by a legislator that may or may not become law. Okay, so a bill is not the same thing as a law. Barbering and cosmetology saw its fair share of updated regulations in 2024. That continued even this year. So I invite all barbers, cosmetologists, nail technicians, estheticians to visit our new board's website, and that is msbcb.ms.gov. Again, that's MSBCB for Mississippi Barber and Cosmetology Board, .ms for Mississippi, and .gov. When you get there, I mean, you're going to see it's a beautiful website, and you're able to apply for your license, renew your license, learn about more about the mission statement and the philosophy of the board. You can read statutes, view board minutes. I mean, it's a lot you can do at msbcb.ms.gov. I also invite you to join the Mississippi Cosmetology and Barbering Association if you're not already a member, because I'm confident that the president of the association, Miss Latricia Atkins, and her team will keep us all updated. And speaking of the association, there's information on their website as well. That website is Mississippi Cosmetology Association. I know, barbers. I know. But some major changes went into effect January 3rd, 2025. And if you go over there to the Mississippi Cosmetology Association website, that's Mississippi Cosmetology Association.com, you're able to download those new rules and regulations. And they also keep you up to date regarding opportunities for continual education. Thank you. Good morning. Yes. So thank you so much, you all, for your text messages and your messages here on our YouTube channel. I appreciate it very much. And if I don't get a chance to acknowledge what you're saying, then please just know that I don't mean to ignore you. Call in 601-714-8378. We want to learn from you. Some more legislation. Felony suffrage. House leaders are expected, at least they did, file legislation again this year that would create an automatic path for some people convicted of nonviolent felony offenses to regain their voting rights. You know, Mississippi has one of the harshest felony disenfranchisement practices in the nation. After someone is convicted of one of 23 felony crimes, they have their voting rights stripped away for life. Make it make sense, right? Even if they never commit a crime again after leaving prison or after completing their sentence. The House had approved legislation to give former people convicted of a nonviolent disenfranchising crime a path to suffrage restoration as long as they had paid all the terms of their sentence and not committed another crime for 5 years. But Senate Constitution Chair, I think her name is Angela Burks Hill, she's out of Picayune. She killed the House proposal without bringing it up for a vote. You see, Civics 101, learning how our legislative process works. And we want people to be informed that if a bill isn't brought up, it's, for all practical purposes, dead. Yeah. And she never gave a clear answer why she opposed the policy. I would love to ask her. I don't know her. Maybe you do. But ask her why. Why don't you want people who have completed their sentences to get up? They're Mississippians. I often say, sometimes we act like we don't even like our own. Man, we're all Mississippians. Please. Now, you're going to love this. I mean, the Mississippi Senate passed Tax Relief Bill, Senate Bill 3095 with a 34 to 15 vote. The bill will reduce income tax from 4.4% to 2.99%, and the sales tax on groceries from 7% to 5%. And someone asked me the other day, they said, Dr. Liddell, now make this real for me. What's 7% to 5%? Okay, I'll use this. If you go into a store and you buy something that costs $1, all right, current tax 7%, you're going to pay $1.07, right? And with the change, with the tax decreasing to 5%, you're going to pay $1.05. And when I told this person that, they said, what? 2 pennies? Man, come on. Is that all? They just need to get rid of the grocery tax. Okay. But those pennies add up, right? House Bill 1 passed also. So you see, you have Senate Bill 3095 and House Bill 1. It helps to fund infrastructure projects across the state because the gas tax would rise by 9 cents over 3 years. Man, we decrease one and raise another one. My goodness. But we're not quite there yet. So let me tell you how this works. Again, Civics 101. Now we have Senate Bill 3095, House Bill 1. It got passed, and either chamber could adopt either bill, or both chambers could meet and try to negotiate terms on the final bill. If they find common ground, then the new bill would have to be approved again by both the House and the Senate before being sent to the governor. And if both chambers failed to reach an agreement, the bill would no longer exist. Or if the session runs out before they can reach an agreement, the bill would die too. And I've seen it happen time and time again with amendments to the Mississippi Fresh Start Act of 2019. So let's discuss a few bills of great interest. In 2024, we had House Bill 1088. House Bill 1088. And this bill would authorize a circuit court to retain jurisdiction and proceed with civil commitment in certain circumstances. Yes, circuit courts authorize jurisdiction for persons with criminal charges who may need civil commitment procedures. And that particular bill passed in 2024. It was approved by the governor last May. And some of us may have missed that. So I wanted to make sure we know that that is now law. Another one, the only two that I want to talk about from 2024, and this other one was House Bill 1640. House Bill 1640. This particular bill was an act to amend Section 41, 1933 of the Mississippi Code, revising the duties of regional mental health facilities. Yeah, it revised the procedures for how they screen, evaluate, and commit people to regional mental health facilities. So if you're interested in that, you want to go out and find that bill that has now become law. It became law last May. All right. Now this year, we're very interested. We've been following some bills. The Mississippi Fresh Start Act of 2019, Senate Bill 2248 was sponsored by Senator Daniel Sparks and Senator David Blunt. And this particular bill had gone to the Accountability, Efficiency, Transparency Committee. You see, these bills get discussed in committees. So it's important to know who's in the committees. Mr. Kevin Ford was the chairman, Darrell Porter, vice chairman. Some members included Randy Boyd, Billy Adam Calvert, Ronnie Crudup, Becky Curry, Stacy Hobgood, Wilkes, Clay Mansell, Kent McCarty, Orlando Payton or Patton, and Kimberly Remack. That's the Accountability, Efficiency, and Transparency Committee. So let's see what the latest is on this particular bill, the Fresh Start Act. Okay, as of March 28, the House had a conference report filed, and the Senate had a conference report filed. I hope this is good information. This is good news. But I'm looking for it to be signed by the governor. That's what we want, right? So this is the Mississippi Fresh Start Act. I'm so excited that it looks like it's still alive. Well, let's keep following it. Income tax reduction. That's that Senate Bill 3095 that I mentioned earlier. That particular bill has died in conference. Yep, it died. Just so you know, that one died. But the one that didn't die was House Bill 1, the Build Up Mississippi Act, income taxes, sales taxes, PERS. PERS stand for Public State Employees Retirement System. Yes, this particular bill, House Bill 1, reduces the tax on all taxable income in excess of $10,000 to 3.75% for 2027. You see how things changed, how the final draft of the bill itself, which has now become law. It was approved by Governor Tate Reeves March the 27th of this year. House Bill 1 is now officially the law of the Mississippi land. All taxable income, all taxable income will have tax reduced on it. All taxable income, and that's income in excess of $10,000. It's going to be reduced to 3.75% for 2027, 3.5% for 2028, 3.25% for 2029, and 3% for 2030. So it doesn't look like it's being reduced in 2025 or in 2026. Looks like the reductions are going to start in 2027. Well, everyone, until then, okay, let's just remain hopeful. It's a lot in this bill. It's not a bill anymore. It's the law. And it talks about the public employees retirement system and how they're beefing that up to defray the cost of administering the optional retirement program. That's ORP. It's a lot. And you may have heard that there was a typo, okay? But we won't even get into all of that. We don't even have the time. But House Bill 1 is now the law of the land. House Bill 1387, foster children. Yeah, we've been talking about this one, and I want to highlight it on this Educational Literacy Day. An act to amend Section 431517 of the Mississippi Code of 1972 to revise which relatives may receive reimbursement for the care of foster children. Guess what? It passed. Yes, House Bill 1387 is now the law of the land. It was approved by Governor Tate Reeves on March 12th, and it now stands. Again, that's House Bill 1387. Go look it up. It's about foster children. House Bill 1630, the Mississippi Adequate Education Program. They removed some obsolete language from that law. House Bill 1630 served to clarify various provisions of the Mississippi Student Funding Formula and remove obsolete references to the predecessor funding program. You know, the previous program was known as the Mississippi Adequate Education Program. Well, that's no longer the case. We dissected it here in episodes past, but the new funding formula for our public schools is the Mississippi Student Funding Formula. Well, they made some amendments to it, but guess what? Those amendments died in conference yesterday. Died in conference. Yep. And so it is what it is. We'll see if somebody brings it back to life at some point. But House Bill 1630 is now being taken off of my list. Once they die, once they're gone, then, hey, I don't follow them anymore. So Senate Bill 3095 is gone. And that House Bill that looks at the funding formula is also gone. House Bill 1768, K through 12 funding. House Bill 1768, looking at K through 12 funding. It died in conference March 29th. Yep, just recently died. So now it's off my list. And the last bill that we had been following is Senate Bill 2543. Senate Bill 2543. I call it the coronavirus state fiscal recovery bill. Yep, the coronavirus bill. It died in conference. You see, I didn't know that there were some people interested in establishing the municipal and county water infrastructure grant program for the purposes of a possible amendment. They're transferring unobligated coronavirus state fiscal recovery funds. I didn't even know that we had state fiscal recovery funds that were unobligated. Man, we got a lot of things they can obligate it to, I tell you that. Well, it died, and so it's gone, and it's off my list. All other bills that we had been watching died in the committee. It's important to know who serves on all these committees. I told you that. Our Foundation's after school program is going strong. It ends May 15, and then we turn our attention to our signature summer academic enrichment program that takes place in July. This will be our third annual SAPE in conjunction with our third annual Summer Food Services Program in collaboration with the Jackson Public School District. So stay tuned. You're going to learn more about that as we explore education literacy. I cannot wait to tell you what we have in store for you, for your little ones, for the Summer Academic Enrichment Program. Otherwise, go ahead and mark your calendars for April 21st through the 26th. A community tent revival is going to take place right next to our foundation, 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive. Well, that's my time for today. I've certainly enjoyed being with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And don't forget to tune into the Literacy Hour on Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m.